alienation.
Super killer.
Chaos. It's a lesson.
Miscommunication.
Power differences.
Changing.
A lesson.
Fear.
Actually, I'm not really afraid of the situation or of the virus.
I think it's an awful disease to get, and I hope not to get it.
It's healthy to think about it, but also not really a good idea to be completely scared of it.
I'm scared shitless.
I fear this new social situation that we have. So that for like the rest of my life, things will be way more virtual, digital. Yeah, that's what I fear.
And I'm not sure how long it will take for the economy to get back, or for me to find another job, or do I need to find a completely different job outside aviation, and what am I going to do? What are my other strengths besides flying? I don't know. So yeah, it's difficult.
Not for myself, I'm not afraid, but for like the older people around me.
So I'm rather afraid also how society is about, but also how politicians and governments are handling in this way in some countries, using the situation not to fight the virus, but fight other causes.
I trust my immune system. I eat healthy. Society is taking this in a wrong way, because we don't need to protect ourselves from the outside. We need to protect ourselves from the inside, which is our lifestyle.
Almost finishing my teaching degree at the primary school, so I'm teaching 2 days a week at a primary school in Amsterdam East, and then the other 3 days I'm working for an NGO who's also working in education. Of course, normally I'm standing in front of a classroom with 32 kids, and now they were all in front of a computer screen.
I'm a musician, piano teacher, and an astrologer. And I just came back to Holland last year after almost 30 years abroad. And I was trying to find work here and trying to get together with people that I could play with when Corona started. And those efforts have been put on hold.
I just graduated from the Rijksuniversiteit Groningen, where I've done law and administration. At this point, I'm actually searching for a job. When it started, it was the first point when you think like, okay, well, something is going to happen, but it might, miss us and it will not happen here. But when it did, I experienced a big appeal on discipline. Experienced also a big appeal on the mental capacity and capabilities.
I'm 16 years old and I go to school, like secondary school, I think. And I have like a job at a supermarket. And during the pandemic, I was like homeschooled, and yeah, I was gonna move in the summer vacation to my grandparents to live with them, and now it's been like moved up, and I went to live there in March already, so that was better.
I come from Poland. I live in Amsterdam since 2016. I did my master's here. I'm trained as a theater maker. Myself, HIV positive. Corona changed lots of my professional plans. I had to cancel all the shows and most of the plans I had.
I'm doing a PhD on the topic of on science communication, how to speak about upcoming technologies like nanotechnology or synthetic biology. So my neighbor, she got the virus, the coronavirus, and I could really notice that she was super, super stressed and also making fights with other neighbors. I wanted to hug her. I wanted to go there and just have dinner with her. And
I was born and raised in New York, and then I lost my faith in the American dream. So I bought a pair of shoes and went to work as a postman for a year and moved to Amsterdam 50 years ago. I was a volunteer when HIV/AIDS was killing half of my friends. And we all had to make a lot of decisions, or my friends asked me to help them make decisions with not enough information.
I came from Syria 5 years ago. What I used to do in Syria is a film editor. I used to edit a lot of films. Now I'm studying about designing and creating eco-villages and how to use nature to make sustainable living. In Syria, I was activist. That's why I was wanted. Yeah, and that's why I had to leave Syria. Now I'm still working with some NGOs and some organizations who are working to make the world a better place.
I live with Luc, my 10-month-old baby, and my husband in Haarlem, the Netherlands. I'm a pilot as well, but due to some personal issues and a friend of mine who died last year, I took a break from flying. I had a job offer in February to start flying again, but then COVID-19 came around the corner.
I got enough points
Okay.
to be vulnerable.
To be able to walk around freely again and not be afraid to see anyone or make anyone sick, that I think that will be wonderful.
Okay, I have a partner who works with people, works with in the public care, so meets clients and helps people daily. So I would like him to be able to do so.
I didn't think about anyone else, if anyone else needed it more than me. I think if there is a vaccine, I will try to have it.
But yeah, if there are only 3 vaccines, you need to base it on statistics. And I think statistically, I have a more chance to survive than Bob that explained that he has health issues.
There are more people who need it more badly than I do.
I don't think I will get really sick if I were to get it.
I'm not surrounded by people who are older or more vulnerable.
I know for sure that there won't be a vaccine because I know the pharmaceutical system and I know they are not trustworthy. I could volunteer to put corona in my body, and I guarantee that within 10 minutes to 2 hours, I'm gonna have no symptoms. Everyone can do it, even if they are older.
How do you know that your body is capable of, in 10 minutes to 2 hours, fight off a virus that just comes in and just has to multiply and start to infect your body? Can you explain how that works?
The system we live in, unfortunately, it's based on fear. From within the system, there will never be vaccination that will help the people. What helps is life energy, the energy that keeps us alive. And this is what we should take care of. This is what we should make it alive more, make our body more alive. Good in the body is the breath. When you breathe, you can light up the fire within you, and it will light up your whole system. The immune system will boost like hundreds % more. So if you do just some breathing exercise for 10 minutes, you will have like a great boost in your immune system. I never used any medications for years and years.
May I ask you, Tariq, if you had children, would you give them the standard vaccination that are given all babies and infants in the Netherlands, or would you say, no, they would be strong enough?
They would definitely be strong enough.
Do you have to learn this?
For meditation, I learned it by myself. I just sit and meditate and look within and try to heal myself, because I was in situations where I was really sick and I didn't have anything to heal myself. I was in prison. So I healed myself like that.
I do know of people, like certain monks that I've met. who had cancer, and they had started some treatments, and at a certain point decided to do away with all the official medical things and rely on healthy life and meditation and things like that. And this person who told me that, he got better. But that's an exception, and I think there's nothing wrong with the vaccination. If somebody decides to not vaccinate his children, they put other children at risk. The main lesson of this whole corona thing is it shows that we are connected. My health has influence on your health, and your decision have influence on mine.
I don't have children yet, and I never thought about this in this way. If I want to decide to give my children vaccination or not, I will have to really research more.
I understand that Tariq would be an anti-vaxxer, they're called, I believe. Even if it was available to all 9 of us, you would not take it. That I would take it as a social thing so as not to infect you. Because to tell the truth, when I was active in the HIV/AIDS world before 1996, all of my friends who refused medicines on this basis died.
So, I mean, I have to say for now I'm quite ambivalent because I was very close to raise my hand, but I was also wondering, after listening to everyone else, the 3 people who said yes, a part of me, I would be more willing to give it to them first and then to myself. Like also like ambivalent with what Tarek said, because on the one hand, I do agree that the way the pharmaceutical industry is designed is wrong, and it's for profit only. And I think vaccine is not a cure for corona crisis. There are other, let's say, there has to be other also means we have to apply in order to get safe as humanity through it. So vaccine is not the only answer, basically. So this kind of thinking got me to, for now, to not want vaccine at this stage of conversation.
Based on what is here now, I would say yes, Margriet, Bob, and Anouk would have the vaccine. If I take it on a bigger scale, for Anouk, I would agree if I could say, okay, you're young, you want a vaccine. I would say, okay, I agree that you get the vaccine if, with an if, of course, if you are vaccinated, you are able to help people that maybe do not want to go out. Okay, you can give the older people the vaccine, but maybe it's even better to give the healthy ones the vaccine if they then help out, like for example, Bob or Margaret with, let us say, for example, groceries and stuff like that. You can then create herd immunity.
To get a herd immunity of 60% in this country, 1 million people would have to die of corona. I rest my case.
If you base herd immunity based on getting the illness, but I base herd immunity on getting the vaccine. Herd immunity also happens if everybody gets a vaccine, like 80 to 90%. That is what I base on, not on 1 million has to die and then you have the herd immunity. That was the difference I want to explain here.
I feel some kind of guilt. I feel like I'm taking it away from people who are just have the same rights and who are just too humble to say that they also want it. I would feel guilty for taking it so easily.
I really think it's actually not that difficult, because you want the vaccination, you can take it, why not?
I also thought that the reasoning for a lot of people to say I don't want it is because other people need it more, but I'm definitely not one of the ones that need it more.
people who like flee their countries and go in the danger of crossing countries and doing all this to get to a safe place, I don't think they will carry coronavirus. I saw that as it says, so far they take the best care, and they provide also doctors, and people are like quarantined, like they don't really get in contact with so many people outside, but also like it's just like anyone else, no? Like in the, as it say, there is units, and each one lives in his unit, and they take care of the distance and everything. There is security, there is social distancing, and it's just like anywhere else in the Netherlands. In the, as it say, it doesn't make any difference from anyone else.
However, there are more people fighting mentally struggles right now due to coronavirus. I said it before, I think people sitting at home with depression is not, in my opinion, a top and high priority. There are more professions that need it more instead of art.
People cannot live without live art. They'll dry up internally. Because if we dry up internally, it's very bad for our immune system. We'll die anyway. We'll get corona anyway.
We're not saying that because of the coronavirus or the COVID-19 virus that art is going to die out. It's going to get other forms. And in the education, we suddenly went to online education to kids who are 4 years old. Can you imagine? Like, of course, that's not the way I want to do it, but of course, it brought us other opportunities.
I don't really go to theaters or something. I guess that's more of a when you're older, or well, not necessarily, but I guess.
I live with HIV, so I'm in the group.
A little over a year ago, I was hospitalized for a month with an abscess in my spinal column. I still have it, and it is basically not only painful, but it is lowering my my immune response. It's low. It is immune deficiency.
Which is a plea to our fellow participants who vote no all the time. If you think people should be able to choose, you should vote yes all the time. Then they have a choice.
I agree with you that I should have said yes for people to have a chance, but also, like, I really don't agree that the vaccination is necessary, and I really think that it's actually not good.
Which of these countries has like the most trustworthy government? Can anybody answer this? Or like, because to me that also matters.
So like in Romania, they also did like a military, calling in the military to support police and to support police enforcing the new restrictions. So yeah, I think it was like the same in Spain, and I don't really like any of their measures.
There are a lot of Dutch people who move to Spain, who live there, who depend on the Spanish health system. It has long-term relations with Holland. As far as I know, and I try to be informed about it, the government of Spain is as trustworthy as ours.
I'd like to make an extra plea for Greece. Greece is overloaded with overcrowded refugee camps. I think we owe it to Greece.
when the lockdown started, we called all our 70 plus members of our political party to ask if they needed help, or if we could do something for them, for example, grocery shopping or taking out the trash, I don't know. And all of them, they didn't need help, but all of them, they told us they were already approached by multiple organizations, and they knew the way to go if they needed any help, and they were really appreciative of our call. And now I suggested, I think it was in the summer break, I know, but still I suggested to call them again, because it's almost 6 months ago we did this. And we had a lot of volunteers who helped calling them, because I think it were over 500 people or something. And now all the volunteers said, no, I'm too busy, I can't do it. And so I think maybe it feels like we are more together and helping each other, but my feeling is that it was there in the beginning, but it's all back to normal, like how it was before COVID.
Yeah, in my experience, and what I mostly see sometimes at the supermarket and stuff, is that solidarity is there as long as a person don't have to hand something in. And when it comes to the idea of solidarity in this case of Corona, I have seen a lot elderly people, young people breaking the rules, or even not even knowing that the rules are there. Today I went for a walk, and at the university library, Starbucks reopened. And when you actually walk past, I was like, okay, I'm going to get some coffee there. And there were big lines, big signs with the toilet doesn't work. There is no toilet for this. Please walk this way. And when you go away, walk this way. And people don't, you're starting to question the ability to read. Yeah, well, solidarity, I don't even think that here in North, I don't know if it's going to West, but I think that we know the word well, but the meaning is something a hell of a lot different.
And I cannot imagine that people have so little compassion and empathy, so little feeling for the fact that other people who they are not, who are in different situations and who are more vulnerable, could die, as many thousands or hundreds of thousands in the world have died. So that hurts me, that makes me feel depressed and pessimistic.
We were talking about giving a vaccine to people of lower income, and we couldn't even agree. We couldn't even get 7 people together to vote for that.
Lose this spontaneity to meet new people, something like this. Yeah.
I had a close friend who wanted to decide for himself how close he could be. He wanted to social distance in his own way. And I didn't feel good with that. So we broke up. That's losing somebody.
My son, he's almost 11 months now. What I feared in the beginning, was afraid to lose, is that he is not able to have like the youth we had, like the, how do you say it, onbezorgd, like free.
Carefree.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. Carefree youth, or youth we had.
More like in the coming months, like the feeling I have more and more, it's a sort of a kind of pending anxiety that I'm also used to my old ways. Happily, I didn't have to fully convert everything I do to like online realm, and everything you try to do or work for could be as easily cancelled or not happening.
And what a shame. Young people, working people, creative people are being limited in this horrible, horrible plague.
How can we go back to normal as soon as possible? So the new normal was not like, what can we learn, what can we change, what can we make better, but how can we, although there is corona,
keep holding on to our life as it was. So I don't think we learned or a lot will change, or yeah, I think this need to for habits is very strong. Yeah.
Maybe it sounds a bit hypocritical coming from a pilot, but I'm pro less flying. So I think it's really good that everybody now is flying less and that we can experience what it is to have a meeting, for example, via Zoom instead of flying there. And it sounds maybe a bit hypocritical because I don't have a job flying and I would really like to go back flying one day. But I totally agree, it's much better for the environment. But I hope all the cheap flights and all that flying 3 times a year is come to a stop for now. Would be good for the environment.
I believe that the neoliberal hype that everybody has to work more and parents have to have 4 jobs to send their kids to university and old people have to work till they're 72, I think that's a crock of shit. I think, and this will be making it go more quickly. My idea is that IT, computers, robots, and things we haven't even thought of in 30 years will take over so much work that everybody will have a guaranteed minimum income. You can choose to work or not to work. I'm surprised I'm not pushing more buttons here. We live in a Calvinist country, Árpád Schilling, however you say that in English. Most people work because they have to and not because they want to.
The COVID situation also made it very clear that there is a lot going on, or a lot can be improved, which I think is a benefit of the situation. And I am actually not sure if the situation, if it goes on like this or it's coming back, if it's going to improve the let's say the Dutch educational system. Like,
get rid of capitalism. I really hope so, but I don't think so. I think we already started wrong in the beginning of this pandemic. They are giving a lot of money to, for example, KLM. I have a lot of friends also working in theater or in filming business, doesn't get anything. But I think we are already too late to make a big change.
The word maybe that I've heard more than solidarity was survival. And I think this word will stay with us. I think this is a crucial thing.
There's like really essential parts of like learning things that you just have to like experience in real life. The part that makes school fun is like the whole social aspect of it and just being in class with other people. So I guess that's also why it wouldn't work to like do it online. Everything offline education is much better.